The Hadeeth of Saqeefah. It was narrated from Ubaydullah ibn Abdullah ibn Utbah ibn Mas'ud that Ibn Abbas told him that Abdurrahman ibn Auf went back to where he had halted. Ibn Abbas said, I used to recite to Abdurrahman ibn Auf and he found me waiting for him. That was in Mina during the last Hajj performed by Umar ibn al-Khattab radiyallahu anhu. Abdurrahman ibn Auf said, a man came to Umar ibn al-Khattab and said, so and so is saying, if Umar radiyallahu anhu dies, I will swear allegiance to so and so. Umar radiyallahu anhu said, I will stand before the people today and warn them against these people who want to deprive them of their rights. Abdurrahman said, I said, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, do not do that, for the Hajj season brings together the riffraff and rabble among the people, and most of the people who gather around and listen to you will be of that type. If you stand before the people, I am afraid that you will say something that they will spread and not understand it properly or interpret it properly. Rather wait until you come to Medina, for it is the land of Hijrah and the Sunnah, and you will meet the most knowledgeable and noble people there, and you can say what you want to say with confidence. They will understand what you say and will interpret it correctly. Umar radiallahu anhu said, if I reach Medina safe and sound, I shall certainly talk to the people there in the first speech I deliver. When we came to Medina at the end of Dhul Hijjah, it was a Friday. I set out early. Umar did not care at what time he went out, because he did not pay attention to heat and cold and so on. I found Sa'id ibn Zayd at the right hand corner of the minbar. He had got there before me. I sat down next to him with my knee touching his knee, and it was not long before Umar radiallahu anhu came. When I saw him, I said, he will certainly speak today on this minbar and say something that no one ever heard before. Sa'id ibn Zayd objected to that and said, what do you think he will say that no one said before? Umar radiallahu anhu sat on the minbar, and when the muezzin fell silent, he stood up and praised and glorified Allah as he deserves. Then he said, to proceed, O people, I am going to tell you something that it has been decreed I should say. I do not know, perhaps it may signal my death, so whoever understands it and remembers it, let him narrate it to others, wherever his mount takes him. Whoever does not understand it, it is not permissible for him to tell lies about me. Allah, may He be blessed and exalted, sent Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam with the truth and revealed the book to him. Among the things that were revealed to him was the verse of stoning adulterers. We read it and understood it. The Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam stoned adulterers, and we stoned adulterers after him. But I fear that with the passage of time, some people will say, we do not find the verse of stoning in the book of Allah. Thus they will go astray by forsaking an obligation that Allah revealed. Stoning is the due punishment in the book of Allah for those who commit zina, both men and women, if they have been married, and if proof is established, or there is pregnancy or a confession. And we used to recite, do not claim to be the offspring of anyone other than your fathers, as it is disbelief or ingratitude on your part to claim to be the offspring of anyone other than your fathers. Verily, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, do not praise me excessively as Isa, the son of Maryam, was praised. Rather, I am the slave of Allah, so say the slave of Allah and His Messenger. I have heard that some among you are saying, If Umar radiallahu anhu dies, I shall swear allegiance to so and so. No man should deceive himself by saying that the oath of allegiance to Abu Bakr was given suddenly, and it is successful. There is no doubt that this is the case. But Allah, may He be glorified and exalted, saved the two people from its bad consequences, and there is no one among you today who has the qualities of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. What happened to us when the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam died was that Ali, Az-Zubair, and those who were with them stayed behind in the house of Fatima, the daughter of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and all the Ansar stayed behind and gathered in Saqeefah Banu Sa'ida, whilst the Muhajireen gathered around Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. I said to him, O Abu Bakr, let us go to our brothers, the Ansar. So we set out looking for them. Then we were met by two righteous men who told us what the people had done, and said, Where are you going, O Muhajireen? O Muhajireen. I said, we are looking for these brothers of ours, the Ansar. They said, you should not go near them, do whatever you have already decided. O Muhajireen. I said, by Allah, we will go to them. So we carried on until we came to them in Saqeefah Banu Sa'ida, where we found them gathered, and among them was a man wrapped up in a garment. I said, who is this? They said, Sa'ad ibn Ubadah. Sa'ad ibn Ubadah. I said, what is the matter with him? They said, he is sick. After we sat down, their spokesman stood up and praised and glorified Allah. May He glorified and exalted as He deserves. Then he said, to proceed. We are the supporters, Ansar of Allah, and the majority of the Muslim army. You, O Muhajireen, are a small group among us. Some of you came to us wanting to deny who we are and prevent us from attaining a position of authority. When he fell silent, I wanted to present a speech that I had prepared and that I liked in front of Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. I used to avoid provoking him, and he was more forbearing and more dignified than me. But Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, wait a while. I did not like to make him angry, and he was more knowledgeable and more dignified than me. By Allah, he did not omit any word that I liked in the speech I had prepared, but he said something like it or better, speaking spontaneously until he finished speaking. Then he said, to proceed, whatever you have mentioned about your achievements and virtues is correct. The Arabs would not acknowledge the leadership of anyone except someone from this tribe of Quraysh, for they are the best of the Arabs in lineage and location. I am pleased to suggest to you one of these two men, whichever of them you want. Then he took hold of my hand and the hand of Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah. And I disliked nothing of what he had said apart from this. For by Allah, I would rather have my neck struck for no sin on my part than to become the leader of people, among whom was Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. Unless my own self suggested something at the time of death. One of the Ansar said, I am the post on which the camel with the skin disease scratches itself, and I am like a high-class palm tree, i.e. a noble. I suggest a ruler from among us and a ruler from among you, O Quraysh. I, the narrator, said to Malik, what does I am the post on which the camel with a skin disease scratches itself, and I am like a high-class palm tree mean? He said, it is as if he is saying, I am the smart one who has the answer. Then there was a great deal of clamor and raised voices, to such an extent that I feared there would be a conflict. So I said, hold out your hand, O Abu Bakr. So he held out his hand and I swore allegiance to him. And the Muhajirin swore allegiance to him. Then the Ansar swore allegiance to him. Thus we surrounded Sa'd ibn Ubadah. One of them said, you have killed Sa'd. I said, may Allah kill Sa'd. And Umar radiallahu anhu said, by Allah, we never encountered any problem greater than the swearing of allegiance to Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu. We were afraid that if we left the people without having sworn allegiance to anyone, they might swear allegiance after we were gone. So we would either follow in their footsteps and swear allegiance to someone we were not pleased with, or we would disagree with them, and that would cause trouble. If anyone swears allegiance to a leader without consulting the Muslims, there is no allegiance for him and no allegiance to the one who swore allegiance to him, lest both of them be killed. Malik said, Ibn Shihab told me from Urwa ibn Zubair that the men whom they met were Uwaym bin Sa'ida and Ma'ad ibn Adi. Ibn Shihab said, Sa'id ibn Musayyib told me that the one who said, I am the post on which the camel with a skin disease scratches itself, and I am like a high-class palm tree, was Al-Lubab ibn al-Mundhir. It was narrated from Yahya ibn Sa'id that he heard Anas ibn Malik say, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, shall I not tell you about the best tribe of the Ansar, Banu Najjar, then Banu Abdul Ashhal, then Banu al-Harith ibn al-Khazraj, then Banu Sa'ida. And he said, in each tribe of the Ansar there is goodness. It was narrated that Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, the two parties to a transaction have the option of cancelling it so long as they have not parted, or there is a condition which gives the option to cancel. It was narrated from Ibn Umar that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam forbade selling the offspring that is still in the womb of a camel. It was narrated that Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said, we used to buy and sell food stuff at the time of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and he would send someone to tell us to transfer the food from the place we have bought it to another place before selling it. It was narrated that Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, whoever buys foodstuff should not sell it until he takes possession of all of it. It was narrated from Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, if a person frees his share of a slave and has enough money to pay the full price of the slave, a fair price should be worked out for the slave, and his partner should be given their shares, then he may free the slave. Otherwise, he has freed only what he has freed. It was narrated that Sa'id said, I said to Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, what about a man who engaged in li'an with his wife? He said, the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam would separate them, and he mentioned the hadith. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala ali Muhammad.